Hi, my name is Umang, and in this video I will give you an overview and a tutorial of Google's Looker Studio. In the middle of the video, I will also share my views why Google Looker Studio is better than any other business intelligence tool in the market. Without any further waiting, shoot up your laptop, open up your Google Chrome, and let's get started. The first step is to go on the website of Looker Studio. Go on the Google and type Looker Studio. Click on the first link, which is www.lookerstudio.google.com, and your page should appear. Now, the first reason why I believe that the Looker Studio is better than any other business intelligence tool is that you do not need to install the software on your operating system. Whether you're using Microsoft or Apple, you can use this Looker Studio in both the operating system. All you need is the internet. As you can see, this is the main screen of Looker Studio. You can see all the templates and our option of blank report. There are three tabs on the top. First one is the reports, second is the data sources, and the third is the explorer. On the left hand side, there is another tab which is like shared with me and owned by me. Shared with me are those reports which your teammates or your colleagues will share with you. The reason why I believe that the shared with me option is an excellent idea is because whatever changes your colleagues are making, you would be able to notice them inside this tab. Secondly, version control. Since this is not installed in an operating system, therefore all the versions will be available online. Thus, it makes very easy to view the versions as well as who made what type of changes. Lastly, there's an option which is called templates. Now, I love these features of Google Looker Studio because it saves a lot of time. I can click on any of these templates and can start working on it. I do not need to make a page or a report from the scratch. And this is the beauty of Looker Studio. Now, to get started with this tutorial, click on the Create button and click on Data Sources. A pop-up window will appear. Choose your country. For me, it's going to be Germany. And company, you can name anything. I will name it ABC. Great. So now once you have finished filling the form, just click on Create button and click on Data Sources. Here are all the data connectors. Now the best point about Google Looker Studio is that because it is owned by Google, so all the products of Google such as Google Analytics, Google Sheet, Google Ads, Google BigQuery, and Google Search Console, they already have an inbuilt connector. Plus, apart from these, there are other connectors also such as Amazon Redshift, which is Amazon Warehouse, Data Warehouse, Microsoft SQL Server, and PostgreSQL. Plus, there are 686 other partner connectors also where you can connect the datasets. And if nothing works for you, then you can also build your own connector. So let's connect. For this tutorial, let's do it with BigQuery. BigQuery is Google's warehouse. For this tutorial, you do not need any of your credit card or debit card details. Just simply click on BigQuery. And I assure you guys, if you have never worked with BigQuery, it's very simple. And otherwise, if you want to learn more about BigQuery and you want to learn about SQL, then there are a lot many videos I have put up in my description and you must check them out. So once you're inside the Google BigQuery, you must see that you already have a project over here. Now, if you do not see your project over here, then don't panic. That generally means that you have not set up your BigQuery. And if you have not set up your BigQuery, it's pretty easy. I will show you how to do it. Simply go on google.com and type Google Cloud Platform. Click on the website cloud.google.com and this page should appear. Now click on console and click on view all products. If the screen is different for you, just try to search BigQuery. For me, BigQuery is over here. I will click on BigQuery now. And all you have to do is create a new project. So click on this drop-down menu and click on new project. I will call this project as Looker Studio. and click on create. Perfect. So now you are inside your new project inside your BigQuery. Now all you have to do is get the access of the public datasets. Another thing which I would like to do is select your project and then click on add data. And this time select public datasets. Now inside the public datasets, search for e-commerce. And choose the look e-commerce. Click on view dataset. Now after clicking on view dataset, go back to your data source and again click on refresh. Click on BigQuery and go on public datasets. Inside the public datasets, click on Looker Studio. And now you have over 100 of databases free to use. Now, if you're finding this video helpful for you, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Now I will search the look e-commerce database and select the inventory items table and click on connect. Now the whole table will load. Now this preview is all about your data in your table. Here you will see what all dimensions and matrices you have. Basically what all columns are available in your datasets. In this view, I can also change the name of any column. For example, instead of product retail price, I just want to call it retail price. I can also add description for my team. I can change the data type. Finally, there are other options also. For example, I can see who owns the data. I can change the data refreshness to 12 hours, which is by default. I can turn on and turn off the community visualization. I will highly advise you to keep it turned off so that your sensitive data remains to you. And finally, keep the field editing in reports on. You have other two options such as add a field and add a parameter, and we will go through both of them inside a report. But first, let me show you what Explore is. Click on Explore. The Explore option in the Looker Studio is used to explore your datasets. So once you have received your datasets and you have loaded your dataset, inside the Explore you can see what all the data is inside your columns and rows. There are many tabs. I can create a new tab and I can also add a new chart. And within this chart, I want to see what all brands are there inside my values. Now I can see that there are multiple types of brands inside my datasets. Finally, I'm happy with this data. So I can save this or I can skip the save. But once I have clicked on save, I can simply either close this tab or I can go back to my Looker Studio. Now, as you can see in our data sources, we already have our data source. Now, I'm going to use the same inventory items for creating a report. And this time, let's click on create a report. Another reason to use Google Looker Studio is because it's free of cost. I can share this report with my colleagues without any payment. By default, Looker Studio has created one table for me, and I will not delete this table. Now I will show you the other features inside the Looker Studio. We have these two tabs on our right hand side. The first one is the data and the second one is the properties. What the data tab does is it shows you what type of data you have. Basically all the rows and columns which you have. You also have the add a field and add a parameter. Add a field will add a calculation field inside your table and add a parameter will add a parameter in your table. Properties. Well, properties is related to your charts. It helps you to add new dimension and matrices inside the chart. It also shows you some of the features which the Looker Studio has, such as sorting, drill down, and rows per page. There is also a very important feature which is add a filter on the chart. On the top, we can also see that we can change the style of our table. For now, I will not change the style, but I will definitely add some of the data. Since we are working on inventory datasets, without SKUs and product ID, none of the inventories are called inventories. So let's add product SKUs. Now our table is complete, but still it has a lot many records. And we do not need these many records for our data analysis. And therefore I will create a filter and call it unsold items. I will include just the values of sold at which are null, which means that they have not been sold. Finally, I will also show you other features of Looker Studio. There's this option which is page. Inside the page, we have the current page settings. Click on current page settings. And inside this, we can set up our page. Basically, what I want to do is I want to add a filter on the page level. I will click on add a filter and I will call this as filter by ID. Now I will only include those values which are between 40,000 and 40,500 and I will click on save. Now our page doesn't look so beautiful, and to make it more interesting to our viewers, I will click on themes and layout. Another plus point of Google Looker Studio is that it has some inbuilt themes. Now my favorite theme is the Lagoon and I will choose Lagoon. For my audience, I will also add some text so that it is easy for them to understand what this visualization means to them. As you can see, there are a few options on the top. One of them is URL embedded, next is images, next is text, then it's line, then it's shapes. I will choose the text option and create a text box. And inside this text box, I will write unsold inventory. I will change the text size to 30. Now, according to my table, one of the product ID, which is 843, has 3 items which are in my inventory and which are not being sold at the moment. To make it more specific, I will add some more dimensions into this. Now, the next step is to build more charts. There are 2 options to insert a chart. First is the insert option, or second is add a chart. I like to use add a chart option. Beside add a chart, we can also add a page, we can add more data sources, and we can also add community-based visualization. Lastly, we can also add controls. We will take a control and we will choose drop-down list. Inside the drop-down list, I will select my product department and put them as a control field. Now I can clearly see that if I choose men department, what all brands are there and how much quantity is there. Lastly, I want to customize my bar chart. So I will click on style, changes to horizontal chart, show data labels, and change the bars to 5. So now it will show me only top 5. There are many other things which you can do inside the styling. For example, you can change the log axis, you can add grids, you can change the color, legends, and even the axis name and colors. Now I will add some new charts. For example, cost. And now I will add a new calculation field. To do that, I will click on add a field, and inside an add a field, I will create a profit tab. Now inside this add a field calculation field, you can create many types of calculations. For example, you can change the date type by using parse date. You can do submissions by sum and average, or you can do many other calculation fields just like other business intelligence tools. For now, to create this field profit, I will simply do a sum of cost and subtract this with sum of retail price. And click on save. Calculation field has been saved and there are no errors because of this green tick, and click on done. Now this profit field is over here. I will drag and drop it in my report. And I think the formula is wrong. So to edit the formula, all you have to do is double click on the profit again, and it should be retail price minus cost. Finally, click on update and click on done. Now this profit is inaccurate. To make it accurate, we need to add a filter. And this time we want the profit only on those items which has been sold. I will create a filter which is called sold item, and I will exclude those values which are null on sold at column. So now we have profit also. Similarly, I will also create a parameter, and this parameter will help us to calculate the net profit. Now parameters are very similar to creating a new column, but this parameter will help us to calculate our profit, and I will show you how. So for this one, I have choose a list of values, and my list of values will be 10%, which is 0.10, call it 10%. And the other one is 0.25, which is 25%. Click on save and click on done. Now let's create the net profit. So the idea behind the net profit is that we are paying some charges such as 10% and 25% of our profit on operational cost, and therefore we will subtract the profit from profit multiplied by our parameter, which is net profit. Click on save, click on done. Now let's add our filter, which is only for sold items. Now by default, the value will remain at 10%. To change the value, we will add a control, and to add a control, we will simply click on drop down menu. And in this drop down menu, we'll choose a net profit and put the net profit inside. I'm just quickly gonna rearrange everything. So as you can see right now, the net profit is on 10%. If I change to 25, our value of 5,000 will change to 4,000. So this is one way of using the parameter. And now I'll quickly add some more charts. Let's add a pie chart. To change the type of chart, all we have to do is click on charts again, and we can select another chart, such as a donut chart. Finally, I'm gonna add a time series chart, which will show our profit by sold at date. Lastly, now I will add some details into my page. For example, I will quickly add some color on the top, and I will add text here. I will insert an image. Not only you should share this video with your colleagues and friends, but also share this dashboard with your friends. You can simply choose the option get report link, and this will generate a link which you can share it with your friends using different type of communication channels. And also you can put this link on your LinkedIn page or on your resume, which will help you in future. I hope so. I was able to help you in this video. And in my next video, I would be giving you a walkthrough on Google BigQuery, SQL, and more on Data Studio. So keep watching my next video and hit the subscribe button, please. Hey, I bet you want to impress everyone. Click on the next video.